everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, we're building a work from home capsule wardrobe. I hope everyone's had a lovely week. If you're anything like me, you are still in that transition phase from working at home a lot to going and seeing maybe clients or going and seeing your colleagues at the office. For so many people that I've been in touch with recently, they've actually permanently transitioned from working in an office environment now to working from home. And I think that might be the way for a lot of businesses going forward. So I wanted to make a video to help people work out what to do with those pieces of clothing that might be too corporate for their current situation with work. So if you've gone from working in a pretty corporate office environment and now you're sitting at home but you're still having to jump on Zoom meetings, or you might be ducking out to do the occasional client-facing meeting, this video is for you. I've got a few examples of outfits I've pulled together from my own capsule wardrobe, and I've put together a little mini capsule wardrobe to show you guys a few examples and maybe give you some ideas on how you can work your wardrobe now that you're working from home instead of being at the office. So I wanted to create a selection of looks today that could be suitable for jumping on a Zoom meeting with, going and doing some client-facing tasks, but also being at home and being comfortable. I do think it's important to make sure that you get changed when you're working from home, that you're not sitting around in activewear or you're not sitting around in your pajamas. I don't find that we're as productive when we're sitting around in these types of clothing. And then when a Zoom meeting rolls around, you've got to rush and get changed and do your hair and makeup and all those things. So what I find the best thing to do is have a selection of clothing that is already suitable but is comfortable for you to wear, that you can just take off a jacket or take off a piece and be even more relaxed wearing it. We're going to start with this first look, which is a pair of navy blue trousers that I would normally reserve for my slightly more corporate clients, my more business clients. I've then thrown on a deeper green silky blouse and then a double-breasted blazer, and I've dressed it all down with a pair of sneakers. For this next look, I've got a dark red midi skirt on with a crossover wool top and my double-breasted blazer. This one's in a little bit of a different color. And then I've got on a pair of slip-on kind of loafer shoes. These shoes are a little bit more structured, but they're still really comfortable because they don't have much of a heel on them. You could really dress up and dress down this particular look, but having that blazer there just makes it a little bit more appropriate for going and attending a meeting, and it's something that you can be comfortable in all day. So for look 3, I've got on a pair of high-rise rigid denim jeans. I've then added in a soft camel-coloured turtleneck jumper, and it's quite a thin knit that works really well under jackets and blazers. I've then added in a really nice structured double-breasted blazer and just a white pair of sneakers which have a little bit of blue on the back, which just helps to tie that blazer and the jeans and the sneakers all together. So I went ahead and built a capsule wardrobe using these pieces and a few others. So what I like to do when I make a capsule wardrobe is I always start with a colour scheme. So I started with a colour scheme of navy, a caramel colour, deep red, white and green. So this capsule wardrobe is made up of 12 pieces. I started with a white t-shirt, a caramel turtleneck jumper, a dark red wool top, a dark red midi skirt, and a pair of jeans. If you notice, all of these pieces here are quite casual. I then went to my work wardrobe and I pulled a few pieces from there. I've got a darker green silk blouse, a white button-up shirt, a dark green blazer, a navy blue double-breasted blazer, and a navy blue pair of work trousers. And for my shoes, I added a white sneaker and just a simple loafer style shoe. And from these pieces, I'm able to make over 30 outfits. Now, if you're interested in building a capsule wardrobe for outside of this area, or you want to build your own capsule wardrobe for staying at home, but you feel like maybe 12 pieces aren't enough, I've actually got a course that I've built on creating a capsule wardrobe, which I'm going to leave the link to that in the description below for you guys to check out. So the way I've managed to make this capsule wardrobe work is by having a balance of not only my colours, but having some casual pieces and some work pieces. And this is what I like to call structure and flow. So you've got tailored pieces and softer pieces. And when you mix those two together, they help to dress each other down a little bit, but still look really smart. So if you have a lot of things in your wardrobe that you don't think you're going to get use out of anymore because you've permanently moved to a work from home office, what I would recommend you do is go through your wardrobe, pick out those things that you definitely know you won't be using, and either sell or donate them rather than just throw them away. If you donate your clothing, some great places you can go to would be the Salvation Army. Another place that is really good is a charity called Dress for Success, which helps women find outfits to wear to job interviews, and they take clothing that is lightly worn. This could be things like blazers, pencil skirts, work jackets, good shirts, it could even be handbags, it could be shoes. Those are two really good places that you can be donating your work clothing to at the moment. Something else you can always do is sell your clothing. So you could sell your clothing on a buy, swap and sell group on Facebook, and often there are ones of these just for specific brands as well. So if you have a whole bunch of cute clothing that you're no longer getting the use out of, there are often buy, swap and sell groups for cute. Another way you can do it is by using an app called Depop, which is one that I use a little bit as well. And this is a bit like an Instagram, but you can sell your clothing through it. And if now Zoom meetings are something that is going to be the norm for you, I've got a few tips for you there as well as to what you can wear. So I think one of the main things is look around at the environment that you're in and try and wear a color that doesn't blend too much into your environment. So if you're in a white room, maybe don't wear a completely white top up the top, maybe put on a scarf or some jewelry, something that's going to set you apart from your background. Depending on where your laptop or your computer or your camera is placed, I do recommend sometimes just thinking about the neckline of your shirts just so you can't see down the front of your shirt. I think it's also important to make sure that you're not wearing a really highly visible bra so that you can't see that through your shirt either. I think something else that's important, which we are starting to forget about because we've been working from home and we've been in this environment now for months, is to make sure we do our hair. And if you do your makeup for work, do your makeup as well, but having your hair nice and neat for work, especially if you're jumping on a client-facing meeting or you're going to be in a meeting with your bosses, I think it's really important to make sure that you look well-groomed. Something I recommend that you don't do when you're doing a Zoom meeting is wear jewelry or clothing that is noisy. So it might be, say, a bangle that is banging against a watch, or it might be a set of earrings that dangle a little bit and make a bit of noise. Those things can be a little bit annoying when it comes to Zoom meetings. It can be picked up a little bit. The other thing I think that's important is not to wear things like sleepwear, loungewear, activewear, those types of things on your Zoom meetings, particularly if you haven't normally worked in an environment where wearing those things are okay. Remember, Zoom meetings are just like a regular meeting, except no one can see you from the waist down. And lastly, something that always works really well on camera is more plain pieces. Sometimes really busy prints can actually make your camera screen or make you look a little bit strange on camera. Try and stay away from things that are heavily printed or have big slogans or sayings across the front of them, and go for slightly more plain pieces up the top. And remember, you can still have fun on the lower half of your body. You can still wear a fun printed skirt. It's not something that people in your work environment are likely to see because you're on a Zoom meeting. But if you are able to go out and, run some errands at lunchtime, or if you need to transition your look from a work at home look to maybe going and seeing a friend afterwards, remember you have those printed pieces that you can wear in the other parts of your outfit. And that's all I've got for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment below. I absolutely love it when I get a notification that someone has done any of those things, and it absolutely makes my day. If you do want to learn the exact formula to create your own capsule wardrobe, whether it's going to be a work from home one, or it's going to be a going out or a weekend, or even a, possibly eventually upcoming holiday, in the description below, I've actually got a capsule wardrobe course link that you guys can go and check that out. I hope you guys have a fabulous week, and I'll see you guys on Sunday with another video.